Hello, welcome back, my favorite movement enthusiasts, to today's session of advanced mobility breakdowns, where we're gonna take some of my favorite advanced mobility routines and break them down, deconstruct them step by step for all beginners to join in and for more advanced mobility practitioners to break it down by themselves, take whatever they enjoy in their training and leave out whatever they deem unnecessary. So if you're ready, let's go and have some fun. We're going to place our toes on the ground, lengthening our foot musculature already, which is an amazing bonus to have. Most people don't stretch their feet. And the other leg is going to be completely extended. If you can, sit down fully on your heel. That would be amazing. If you can't, over time, you will get there. Don't worry about it. Push forward, lengthening our arms and working our anterior chain on the right side all the way up to our fingertips. And we're also working the tiniest bit on ankle flexion in the front leg. And from here, we're gonna switch backwards, fold forward in our hip, work our way forward to our toes and pull our upper body as closely to the leg as possible, working on our posterior chain on the left side. So now we're switching between anterior stretch on the right, posterior stretch on the left, and we're targeting pretty much every single joint and every single muscle in our entire body. And all you need to do to work on the other side is switch it up. Keep your toes on the ground, keep the other leg fully extended, move forward, arch your back, going to complete spinal extension, lengthen your entire anterior chain, and then fold forward, touching and working on your posterior chain on the right side. If your range of motion is a little bit shorter, don't worry about it. You can work with your hands here. Push forward until you do not need the support anymore. Extend your arms and pull back as much as you can. If this is the end of your range of motion, don't worry about it. It'll get better over time. And then, once again, you can place your hands on the ground, just like so, and grab forward as much as you can. And this way, you can support yourself during the movement until you have the necessary range of motion, strength, and control to push forward all the way and to fold forward all the way. Internal hip rotation combined with external hip rotation, upward 90-90 seated position, and then we're gonna add some complete spinal rotation for maximum efficiency in this exercise before we reverse and repeat to the other direction using controlled and flowing movements. Quick breakdown, starting in a deep squat position, internal hip rotation separately. Try and keep your hands behind your back and your upper body fully upright to engage as much core inclusion and as much hip flexor strength as possible. And just go through those internal hip rotations with one foot always flat on the ground. Second movement, external rotations, like so, to add a little bit more posterior chain activation, strengthening the backside of our musculature while stretching the front side. And we're gonna combine double internal rotations, left and right, as well as controlled, slow, double external rotations into those pseudo hip thrusts before we reverse using our own strength, controlled movement, and repeat. Once you have that, you can already get into this 90-90 seated position. Start by only turning a little bit while your upper body is fully upright to lengthen your hip flexors and activate your glutes and spinal erectors a little bit more. And for our final step, starting in a 90-90 seated position, we're gonna bring our hands sideways and we're gonna try to go as close down to the ground as possible. Start with your arms first, like so, and then move your face down. You're gonna add even more stretch in your quads, in your hip flexors, a lot of rotation in your entire spine, all the way up to your head. And we wanna controlled reverse, roll over our toes, get into this deep squat position, internal hip rotation, external hip rotation, face to the floor, and of course, the quick ones, hop, 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 with the very slow ones. So we can work a little bit on this slow twitch and fast twitch alternation. Alternation. We're gonna start in complete ankle extension in both legs, and once again, by pushing down all the way, we are lengthening our tibialis, lengthening our ankles, and this will be our starting position just to take off as much pressure off our lumbar spine as we can. We're gonna need that later. What we're gonna do from here is sit up, hands on the ground, toes on the ground, elevate our hips, stretching our entire posterior chain, and knees down, ankles extended, upper body upright, push your hip forward, lengthening your anterior chain. And now from here, stay with me. We're gonna bend backwards as far as we can, lengthening our entire anterior chain slowly in a controlled fashion. Now we're gonna need all that anterior chain strength to pull up once again, push our hips down, and once again take off all the pressure of our back before we move into the next repetition. Toes on the ground, hands on the ground, complete posterior chain stretch, and if you have the range of motion, up on your tippy toes, down once again, reverse this movement, reverse that movement, push your hips forward, bend back as much as you can, push forward and take the pressure off. I would advise to be very careful with this one, and once again, if your range of motion is very short, don't worry about it. If this is the maximum of your capability, and if this is the maximum of your capability here, that is absolutely amazing. Just working on it is more than enough. And over time, trust me, it will get better, especially if you like and subscribe to this channel. Now we're gonna notice the jump in difficulty with this movement pattern is going to be pretty high, but I am also pretty sure you're gonna be able to follow along if we break this down step by step. Our first base movement is the Cossack squat with a full range of motion, meaning you wanna sit down all the way, but instead of having our foot flat, we want to actually raise that heel to give us a little bit more space to move backward. Step number 2, extended leg, extended arm right behind our knee. All we need to do from here is push our hip up, lengthening our anterior chain all the way on the left, all the way to our fingertips before we move back forward, switch Cossack to the other side, hand behind the extended leg, and once again lengthen the right side. And only once we've gone very comfortable with those two movements will we move on to what I call threading the needle. Get into the lowest Cossack squat, push up as far as you can, and now we're gonna switch hands and bring that left leg through to the right side. And if you want to add a posterior chain stretch as well, you're going to grab those toes and pull in. And if you want to add a little bit more strength in your upper body, you're going to go very low to the ground, adding more strength in your arms and chest. Reverse the exact same way you went through the movement, and repeat on the other side. Cossack, pseudo bridge, switch, hands, thread the needle, add posterior chain stretch, go low to the ground, and reverse in a controlled manner. Now, the more you slow this one down, the harder it will be, especially this part is going to require a lot of strength, a lot of control, and a lot of endurance to go through this more than just a handful of times. But once you get very comfortable with this one, you're gonna notice it is practically a full body mobility, strength, and endurance workout in a single movement pattern. You're gonna notice it's not that hard to switch from one of the patterns to the next one without having to stop, take a break, or do static switches. While you're here, you can already switch into a deep squat position, start going through internal and external rotation, 99, face down, all the way up. For instance, it doesn't really matter which move you want to add to which starting position. At some point, you will be able to do whatever you want and however you feel like moving. And that is exactly what we were working on here today. Learning as many exercises separately, learning how to put them together into one single movement pattern that we can work on for a longer period of time, and then how to deconstruct them by themselves and put them together as if we were doing a puzzle. This is the absolute maximum, most important goal when it comes to working on your mobility. And the better you get at that, the stronger, the faster, and the more enduring you will be, because not only are we working on our mind-muscle connection, which has a lot to do with strength, endurance, and how well we are at activating our musculature at specific moments, but also the amount of complexity that you can add to a workout will make the workout much more efficient. If you like the video, and join us. We do stuff like that pretty much every single day, which means that I'll see you tomorrow. So until then, Captain Cairo, peace out.